the Rolex Submariner, the watch that changed luxury forever. For decades, one watch has dominated the world of luxury, status, and diving watches. The Rolex Submariner, a watch so iconic that even people who know nothing about watches still recognize it instantly. But how did a simple diving tool become one of the most desired luxury watches on Earth? The story begins in the early 1950s. At that time, diving was becoming more popular around the world. Professional divers needed reliable equipment that could survive deep underwater pressure. Most watches simply failed. Water entered the case, movement stopped working, and reliability underwater was a huge problem. Rolex saw an opportunity. The company had already invented the oyster case in 1926, one of the world's first waterproof watch cases. But Rolex wanted to go even further. In 1953, Rolex introduced the very first Submariner. It was designed specifically for divers. The watch featured a rotating bezel, highly visible markers, and water resistance up to 100 meters, something revolutionary at the time. The design was simple: black dial, black bezel, clean proportions. But that simplicity became legendary. The Submariner quickly gained attention from professional divers, military units, and explorers. It wasn't just luxury, it was a tool. Then something unexpected happened. Hollywood discovered the Submariner. In 1962, James Bond wore a Rolex Submariner in the movie Dr. No. Suddenly, the watch wasn't only for divers anymore. It became a symbol of elegance, masculinity, and power. The connection between Rolex and James Bond changed the watch industry forever. From that moment, the Submariner became more than a watch. It became status. Over the years, Rolex continuously improved the Submariner. The water resistance increased. The movements became more accurate. Materials became stronger and more luxurious. In the 1980s and 1990s, the Submariner exploded in popularity. Celebrities, athletes, businessmen, and collectors all wanted one. And because Rolex carefully controlled supply, demand became even stronger. That scarcity created hype. Today, some Submariner models have waiting lists lasting years. At retail, a Submariner already costs thousands of dollars. But on the secondary market, prices can become much higher, especially rare vintage models. Some vintage Rolex Submariners have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars at auctions. Collectors around the world search endlessly for rare references, faded bezels, and original dials. But why is the Submariner still so popular today? The answer is surprisingly simple. The design never goes out of style. The Submariner is one of the few watches that works in every situation. You can wear it with a suit, on a beach, at a business meeting, or while traveling around the world. It represents success without trying too hard. And that's exactly why billionaires, celebrities, and watch collectors continue to love it. Today, the Rolex Submariner is no longer just a diving watch. It has become a cultural icon, a symbol of wealth, success, and timeless luxury. More than 70 years after its creation, the Submariner still dominates the luxury watch world. And perhaps the most incredible part of all, Rolex barely changed the original formula. Because when a design becomes perfect, you don't need to reinvent it, you simply refine it. And that is exactly what made the Rolex Submariner legendary.